I'm Jared Craig with Legacy PAC, and we are proud to announce our endorsement for Joe Earley. He's running for U.S. Congress in West Virginia's 2nd Congressional District. So, Joe, I understand you've got a big idea to shut down the border. That's a hot button issue that we are all focused on. We were recently together on the border working on a project to educate voters, to educate candidates, to get a firsthand feel of what's going on. So after having attended that event and coming back to your state, I understand you put together a plan of sorts. So I want you to share that with our audience.
Well, Jared, again, thank you very much for having me on. And I would tell you that our trip down to Eagle Pass, Texas, as part of the Legacy PAC, I would tell you that I had to go down there. I think it's necessary to have seen what we encountered in Texas. And that's only a small portion of the border. And I know that West Virginia, we're a long ways from the border, geography-wise. But we are right in there with Texas when it comes to what's happening to our country.
Right.
Our country is being invaded. My proposal after I left the border, I came back and I submitted a press release out through PR Log. And I'll tell you, the plan to end illegal immigration is pretty cut and dry. We must first build the wall. I work in the cybersecurity industry, and as part of that industry, we always work as defense in depth, which is a key element that translates into border security as well. And our national security is the first thing we have to have that physical barrier, and that's the wall. Wow. We have to build that. And then there's, we've got to remove the federal government incentives that's causing this human misery on both sides of the border. I mean, one of my contemporaries down there, a congressional candidate running out of Texas for Texas 23, Victor Avila. He and I were discussing this down there, and the question came up is, what's the downside of securing the border? And once you really start to think about it, there is no downside. You reduce human misery by building the wall and enforcing our laws of our nation. By funding, or should I say, increasing ICE presence down on the border and making sure that we do not just allow these these illegal immigrants to come through, these non-citizens, and consume our taxpayer dollars. We need to take that away. We cannot continue to pay out to the illegal immigrants, okay, and not secure our border. We need to increase the funding for ICE. Birthright citizenship needs to be addressed for those that are illegal in the United States. We've got to end chain migration for the babies that are born to these illegal or for non-immediate family members, and definitely end the abuse for asylum claims. I mean, I saw individuals firsthand coming through the wire and coming across that river that were from Venezuela, Honduras, Guatemala, Costa Rica. And in talking with some of the CBP folks down there, we didn't see any Mexican nationals that come through because they don't want to have contact. They want to come into the country truly illegal. They don't even want to be known, which kind of begs the question, how many terrorists are coming through that border?
One thing that I think we saw, same time, same place, were all the IDs. We hold our identity in our wallet or in our pocket very dear and important to us.
Yes.
To reflect who we are. So not knowing who's coming across the southern border, not knowing who we have once we find them, and they're intentionally getting rid of their prior identification, I mean, that just seems nefarious by nature. Now, one thing that some people that on the other side, they want the open border, they bellyache about, oh, well, it costs a lot of money. I know you and I saw a bunch of federal dollars being spent, but the officers were not allowed to do their job. So what I'm getting at is this proposal, we're already paying people to do those things. They're just not allowed to do them. It's not going to require a lot of additional budget to just untie the hands of the Border Patrol the ICE agents and the HSE. So, go ahead, I do
Oh,
wanna,
well, I talked to mind you now, I'm in Texas, we're in Texas during this event. And I talked to a Florida state trooper and I asked him, why are you here from Florida? And they have federal dollars that are going to, I believe, federal dollars subsidizing the state of Texas that are coming in and for Operation Lone Star.
right,
These trained, highly trained law enforcement officers from different places, to include the Texas Department of Public Safety and their state troopers, were down on this border with the Texas National Guard. And they had they had zero law enforcement authority to stop the crossings, these illegal crossings from these foreign nationals, military-aged males, and the human and helping stop that human misery of these families crossing this nefarious area or deadly area. So yes, we're seeing them down there. Just what a waste of taxpayer dollars. And as you know, if anybody's watching this show and wants to go out and look at some of the Legacy PAC video, there are airboats going up and down the river that have no authority for stopping anything. We even watched the federales. Yeah, we even watched the federales and the Mexican National Guard run and charge immigrants into the water, illegal immigrants into the river, forcing them to cross instead of rendering aid to them and taking care of them and maybe giving them some housing and food, some shelter. No, they ran them into the water, ran them into the concertina wire, the razor wire on the southern border. And now that razor wire is a physical barrier, but I watched, it did not stop a thing. They used clothing, they just threw clothing over it and they found their way through it. And these law enforcement agencies and the National Guard could do nothing except stand there and watch. They wouldn't help them, but they wouldn't stop them either.
Up until 2 days before we got there, they were being directed to lift up the wire, cut the wire, and to assist them coming across. We had to get a court order, not us. We didn't feel action. But a court order had to be signed by a judge to the federal officers, the local, state, the deputized federal through the federal program. They tell them to not assist them any longer. So it seems like we're in backwards world. And I think we need a lot more people like you in Washington to hold people accountable. The beautiful thing with the border issue is we have the laws on the books. The problem what we have is an administration that's refusing to allow the officers to spend their time and effort as they were trained. Morale is so low. Some of the highly trained border officers are doing things as menial as doing laundry for the illegal aliens and processing. They're basically babysitters. And we can put them to work. They're already there. We can put them on day one, move them in, fund their projects, and get that incentive, I'd say the carrot on the stick, take those incentives away through the votes in Congress. So, I want you to tell our guests, our viewers, how they can go about finding more information about you and your campaign, how they can donate their time, volunteer work, possibly door knocking, ground game, ground machine, and also make donations.
Well, we're rolling up into May 14th is the primary. So we're on a pretty short cycle right now. We're just a little bit over 6 months away. So I would ask anybody that's in West Virginia too, or anybody that would like to support me across the nation. Okay. My website is Joe Earley, and that's EARLEY, number 4, WV.com. I also have a social media presence through Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube and Instagram, and Truth as well. Please go out there and find ways that you can support my candidacy. We're in a fight in America like we've never witnessed before. We are in a fight for the survival of our country. And I, for one, am one of many that have came off the shelf. I did not want to run for political office because I'm not a politician. I am a citizen who cares about our country and who cares about the future of America. And there's a lot of us that are now seeking congressional offices that want to stand up for America, do not want to be career establishment politicians. Okay. I would love to have your support. I would love for you to donate to my campaign. Any amount helps. Just please go to my website and help support my campaign. Help support America, and let's take America back. One district across the country at a time. But let's help it out. West Virginia 2nd District, 27 counties. Joe Earley's got your back. Okay, I'm looking to represent this district going to Congress and help us take America back. We've got to make America great again. We've got to stand up and support our Constitution, our constitutional republic, and we have to support the next president of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
We want everybody at West Virginia's 2nd Congressional District to get out to the primary. That's a heavily Republican district. The primary is the general election. That's May 14th, correct?
May the 14th, that is correct.
And if you can vote early, you can vote by mail, however which way. Know who you're voting for. Vote America first. Vote for Earley, West Virginia.
Well, I would tell you, if I could finish up with this one thing, I would. My philosophy for serving as the next congressman for WV West 2nd District is we're going to preserve our constitutional rights and the rule of law. We're going to make sure that we focus on national security and border security and election integrity. Election integrity is very important. We've already seen the aspects of election integrity violations just yesterday that have been seen by poll workers. We're going to make sure that we have a fiscal responsibility element of government. Okay, that's very important. And make sure that we're protecting the family, guarantee of parental rights, choice in education, and medical freedoms. And all of that revolves around national sovereignty. And I saw that firsthand, our national sovereignty being violated this past week down in Eagle Pass, Texas. So let's get together, America. Let's stand firm, and let's get the right, true conservatives, constitutional conservatives, and congressmen who really love America. Let's get them in office. I'm veteran Joe Earley, and I'm running for Congress in West Virginia 2nd District, and I appreciate your support.
You can say it any better. Our support.